Today on Personal Injury Court.
She's dancing and she's teasing me, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna definitely make it rain on her. She kicks up on the pole, and then boom, before I know it, a heel comes flying at my face.
And then I kicked my leg up and went around, just like that.
Had he not been in the restricted area, he wouldn't have got hit in the eye.
You are asking this court to award you $294,000.
This is a pretty devastating injury. It's hard to even get oriented in terms of where we are in the eye.
If the shoe fits, you'd get an acquit.
Judge Gino Brogdon spent 10 years on the bench ruling on cases worth billions of dollars. Now he presides over some of the largest claims in TV history. This is Personal Injury Court.
Good day, everyone. This is the matter of Moody versus Davis and Sugar Mamas. Mr. Moody, it's my understanding from the documents that you've submitted to this court that you sustained a serious eye injury when you were at Sugar Mamas, which is owned by Miss Davis, and you are asking this court to award you $29,000 for past medicals, $15,000 for future medicals, $50,000 for lost wages, and $200,000 for pain and suffering, for a total award of $294,000. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Miss Davis, you own Sugar Mamas, and you say he wasn't where he was supposed to be. He's responsible for his own injuries. Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let's get into the legal sauce. Mr. Moody, what brought you to the club this night?
Well, Your Honor, I've been working at a construction company for over 10 years. And I worked hard to elevate, and they finally acknowledged me to give me a promotion as project manager.
Congratulations.
Now, thank you, sir, thank you. Now, I was ecstatic because I worked so hard for this position that I had to call up my boys. And I was like, yo, I got the promotion. So what's good with the move for the night? They're telling us, go to the strip club, let's celebrate.
What, 2, 3, 5, 6 guys?
It was 4.
It was 4 of you
Your Honor.
guys?
Yes.
Okay, everybody's going there to have a good time. You've been to strip clubs before?
Yes, I have.
So you knew what was happening, you knew what to do. I mean, you make it rain, right?
I was there to make it rain, of course.
Drizzle.
Okay. How long have you been operating this club? Tell me about it.
Sugar Mama's Gentleman Club is a club that I started all by myself. When I first started, I had a table, 2 chairs, a boom box, and an iPod.
Yes, ma'am.
And with all of my hard work, dedication, and all the hard work of my beautiful young ladies that you see here, we have made Sugar Mamas expand and grow. I've been open over 10 years, Your Honor.
Congratulations. Now, how many exotic dancers do you have?
Well, we have different shifts. So on any average shift, we have about 10 to 15 ladies.
Now, Miss Candy was the dancer, Miss Candy Parker.
Yes, that's correct, Your
Miss
Honor.
Parker, you remember this night?
I remember this night perfectly, Your Honor.
How long have you been an exotic dancer?
For almost over 7 years now.
Now, I don't plan to dance, but tell me what's it involve?
It's just, you know, a little grinding, just a little tease, if you will.
So you're trying to get the customer to spend some money, right?
Exactly, more and more and more money. That's what it's about.
But I founded my club on the basis of burlesque dancing. There is an art form to what my beautiful ladies do. You can see her.
Is this burlesque dancing on the plasma here?
Oh, yes, definitely, Your Honor.
But the ending is the same, right? The ladies are naked by the end, right?
Well, sometimes it's not about how you get, you know, the end result, but more so about how you get to the end result.
I understand. Mr. Moody, tell me what happened.
I came into the club. Everyone knows me there. I'm a regular. Now, since I was there, you know, we usually go to VIP.
And hold on, is he a regular at your club?
He's a regular so much, Judge, he probably could walk around my club blindfolded and not bump into the furniture.
But you want that, right? You want the folks coming back.
Well, yes, this is true, but that just speaks more volume as to why he should have known the rules.
Correct.
All right, well, Mr. Moody, you're a regular there. You come into the club, your buddies are there, you're all getting ready to celebrate, then what happens?
Now, I made eye contact with Miss Candy. And you know, Miss Candy made her way over. She was dancing, and at first, she was teasing me. Then after that, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna make it rain on her. Next thing I know, she does this exotic move on the pole, and you know, I was trying to follow her. And next thing you know, she kicks up on the pole, and then boom, before I know it, a heel comes flying at my face.
Her shoe came off.
Her heel. Now, at this point, I'm like, I didn't even know how to react.
Did you know you'd been hit?
At this point, it happened so fast, before I could know it, like, blood is gushing everywhere. Blood is gushing on my hands, on the shirt that I wore, and that was an expensive shirt that I wore, and it got stained.
Okay, let's break this down. A stiletto to the face in a dimly lit club? That's next level bad luck. But here's where things get messy. The club owner claims this has never happened before. The dancer says it was an accident. But Moody? He's arguing that someone needs to be held responsible. Now, legally speaking, personal injury cases rely on negligence.
Now, that's not supposed to happen, is it, Miss Davis?
No, and it's never happened in all the years that Sugar Mama's has been open. It's never happened in all the years that you've danced, has it, Candy?
No, it hasn't.
So when this happened, Miss Davis, what did you do?
We had to stop and clean up the mess.
It was a nasty scene in there.
Oh, once the lights came up, it looked like a horror movie up in there. And then, let's talk about all the money that I lost. As a matter of fact, Mr. Moody, you probably should be glad that I'm not suing you.
What?
Oh, yeah, for all the money that I lost that
So,
night.
Miss Davis.
Oh, the money?
Miss
All
Davis.
the money, yes.
You went right to the money. I mean,
That's what we're here for, right? The money, because this is my club. This
Well,
is my
but
livelihood.
This is my eye.
But this is my job.
Miss Davis, what brought us here, though, is a patron was injured badly at your club. I mean, that's before the money, right? Doesn't that affect you somehow?
I mean, yes, it does, Your Honor. However, he was doing something he didn't have any business doing. So why am I supposed to be liable? I could lose my club.
I can lose my eye.
Coming up,
When I was dancing, half of his body was on the stage.
When you at a strip club and the dancers are dancing on you, of course there's gonna be some form of body contact.
So nobody has any business being over in this area.
And then I kicked my leg up and went around.
And so that's when your shoe came off.
She was wearing a shoe that wasn't her size.
It's very difficult to do those tricks around that pole with shoes that don't fit correctly. If the shoe didn't fit, she would have had to quit.
Will he ever get his vision back?
With an injury like this one, I would say he would be very lucky to return to functional vision.
Miss Candy made her way over. She was dancing, and at first, she was teasing me. And next thing you know, she kicks up on the pole, and then boom, before I know it, a heel comes flying at my face.
Her shoe came off.
Her heel.
As a matter of fact, Mr. Moody, you probably should be glad that I'm not suing you.
What?
Oh, yeah, for all the money that I lost that night?
Miss Candy, do you remember this?
When I was dancing, Mr. Moody half of his body was on the stage, like he was trying to put his paws, all on the stage.
Now, are you supposed to touch the dancers?
When you at a strip club and the dancers are dancing on you, of course there's gonna be, in a sense, some form of body contact.
Yeah, but they got rules, right? Did y'all have rules?
Oh, there's rules. There's
Signs
signs
that say no touching the dancers.
You know what? I don't care where you from north, south, east to west. Everybody knows you don't touch the dancers. And Mr. Moody definitely know the rules as many times as you've been in there.
That's
when
right.
you had to.
Well, I understand the rules.
I know you can read.
Miss Davis, I know this is important to you because your club is at stake.
Yes, sir.
But you gotta talk to me,
I'm
okay?
sorry.
So, Miss Candy, how did this actually happen?
Judge, would you like me to show you?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Okay, let me show you. So I was going around the pole, and then I kicked my leg up and went around, just like that.
And so that's when your shoe came off.
Yes, that's when my shoe came off.
Okay.
But I didn't mean for it to happen, Your Honor.
You weren't intending to put his eye out.
Absolutely not, but he was leaning over. Had he not been doing that, it would have never happened, Your Honor.
Now, Miss Davis, you said something about him being in the wrong place. What do you mean by that? I didn't know there was a wrong place in an adult entertainment club.
Yes, Your Honor, there is. There is a restricted area.
Explain the restricted area for me.
I have a diagram. Can I submit it to the court?
Yes, ma'am. I saw that diagram. We're going to put it up on the plasma here. You can use it to explain your club to me.
This is the stage here where Miss Candy and some more of the ladies were dancing at. Now, they were on the back pole, and Miss Candy was right here on this front pole. And as you see, all this area here is the restricted area that I was referring to. So nobody has any business being over in this area.
So Mr. Moody's in the restricted area?
Not only is he in the restricted area, but he's actually leaned over the stage too.
Do you remember that?
This is the thing. I
All
wasn't
right.
the only one that was there.
You're
There
the
was
only one I
plen-
remember being there.
Well, you're lying.
No.
Because
Whoa.
why would I just sit and place myself in just a restricted area if there wasn't other people there?
And there it is. The club had rules. The restricted area was clearly marked. But Moody? He was caught sneaking back to the stage multiple times. This could be a problem for his case because in personal injury law, if you knowingly put yourself in a dangerous situation, the defense can argue comparative negligence, meaning Moody might not get the full payout.
Next.
The VIP booths are on the side, so he was being slick. When the bouncer would come tap him, he would walk back over to the VIP booth, and then he would sneak back to the restricted area.
The court consulted Dr. Lauren Yancey. She's an ophthalmologist. Have you ever testified in front of a stripper pole before?
This is definitely a first for me.
I'm not responsible, Your Honor. She was wearing a shoe that wasn't her size.
Miss Candy, what size shoe do you wear?
A 6.
This shoe says it's a 9.
And then I kicked my leg up and went around, just like that.
You weren't intending to put his eye out.
So nobody has any business being over in this area.
I wasn't the only one that was there.
You're
There
the only
was
one I
plen-
remember being there.
Well, you're lying.
So, Miss Davis, can people just sit in the restricted area, the customers?
No, there are signs that clearly say restricted area, keep out.
Did you see any of those signs?
With the ambiance and the light settings of the room, I don't remember
no.
seeing that.
Well, you knew you were in a restricted area, true?
Yes, Your Honor, but there was other people that were in that same restricted
so
area
why
as
do
well.
you feel like the rules don't apply to you?
I get to ask the question.
I'm a
I'm
regular.
sorry.
I
I'm
get to
sorry,
ask the
Your Honor.
question.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
But why do you think the rules don't apply to you?
Listen, Your Honor, I'm a regular. And it's so ironic, because they weren't complaining when I was throwing 20s and 50s in the G-strings.
Y'all had to know he was in the restricted
They
area.
knew I was
right?
there.
As you can see, the VIP booths are on the side, so he was being slick. When the bouncer would come tap him, he would walk back over to the VIP booth, and then everybody would go on about their business, and then he would sneak back to the restricted
So
area.
you kept coming back, Mr. Moody.
I was not the only customer there, Your Honor. But yes, I did.
Mr. Moody, you were leaning over the dance floor. You're in the restricted area, and now you come and ask this court to give you your medical expenses of $29,000? What's life been like since you suffered this eye injury?
It's been horrible, Your Honor. I can't do anything that I love doing. I can't play hoops with my bros anymore. People, every time when I walk in public, they looking at me crazy.
How are you able to do your job? I see that you've submitted $50,000 in lost wages.
The whole promotion that I got, they had to put me on leave because they felt like I was not up to par for the job.
Well, to understand the nature of your injuries from a medical perspective, the court consulted Dr. Lauren Yancey. She's an ophthalmologist. Sheriff Matt, would you get Dr. Yancey?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I just want to say that it's not my fault. I do feel bad that he was injured, but it is not my fault. He needs to understand that there are consequences to his actions.
Ms. Davis, I get to decide whether it's your fault. I've got to ask you, have you ever testified in front of a stripper pole before?
This is definitely a first for me.
Please explain the nature of Mr. Moody's eye injury.
So this is just an external photograph of what we'll see to be more extensive injuries underneath the eyelid. This is a pretty devastating injury. It's hard to even get oriented in terms of where we are in the eye. But this is the patient's cornea right here, and we can see there's a marked laceration across the top that really is threatening vision emergently. So the first priority is to close this laceration that the patient has. And once we're able to restore that cornea back to its original location, then we're going to need to address the floor of the orbit, which is that bony structure.
Will he ever get his vision back?
With an injury like this one, I would say he would be very lucky to return to functional vision.
Thank you, doctor. We appreciate you. You're released.
Now this is where things get real. This isn't just a little cut. Moody may never regain full vision. That's a life-altering injury. And in lawsuits like this, medical testimony is gold. If a doctor confirms that an injury was severe and preventable, it strengthens the plaintiff's case big time. But hold up. How much is his lifestyle change really worth? $200,000 for pain and suffering. What do you think? Is that fair? Or is this lawsuit stretching a bit too far?
Mr. Moody, I can't imagine what's going through your mind right now.
Who would have thought that going to the booty club I'd come out like this?
The more I look at this, it seems to me you've got to take some responsibility for this. Do you take some responsibility for this?
No, I'm not responsible, Your Honor.
Wow.
Because at the end of the day, she was wearing a shoe that wasn't her size.
Well, how do you know that?
I know because I brought the shoe here today.
Well, let me see it. Sheriff Matt, will you get the shoe? And I know it's not your size, Sheriff.
No, it's a little small for me.
This is the shoe that went in your eye.
Yes, Your Honor. The shoe was too big for her foot. How else could the shoe come off?
These aren't supposed to come off, are they, Miss Davis?
No, Your Honor, they're not. It's very difficult to do those tricks around that pole with shoes that don't fit correctly. So if the shoe didn't fit, she would have had to quit.
I certainly understand that, but what we do know is the shoe did come off and it changed somebody's life. Miss Candy, were you wearing this shoe on that night?
I was, Your Honor. We share shoes all the time. We borrow each other's stuff. That's just common. That's just what we do.
Well, what we got to decide is if the shoe fits, you'd get an acquit. Sheriff Matt, could you walk this over? Miss Candy, I want you to try that shoe on.
I can. I have to take both my shoes off.
Miss Candy, what size shoe do you wear?
A 6.
May I see that shoe again, Sheriff? This shoe says it's a 9.
Even if the shoe was big, if he hadn't have been in an area where he wasn't supposed to be, he wouldn't have got hit in the eye.
Folks, I think I've heard enough. I'm ready to render my decision.
Oh, my God. That shoe? A size 9. But Candy, she wears a 6. That's a huge deal. If the defense can prove that an ill-fitting shoe caused the injury, this shifts the liability to the dancer and the club. Think about it. If she wore the A, right size, would the shoe have even flown off? This could be the game changer that tips the scales in Moody's favor. What do you think? Does this prove negligence, or is it just a coincidence?
The verdict is in.
You put up evidence that although you were close to the stage, you had no idea that your life was gonna change. You were gonna leave there with your buddies, everybody, having had a really good time. Instead, we're here. In this case, the devil is in the details. You told him, you put up signs, you put the restricted area there so he could see where he's not supposed to go.
All right, folks, this is it. We've got a life-changing injury, a customer who broke the rules, and a dancer wearing shoes 3 sizes too big. Who's really responsible here? If the judge rules in favor of Moody, it sets a precedent. Strip. Clubs might need tighter safety regulations. But if the club wins, it reinforces the idea that customers assume risk when entering these spaces.
Because at the end of the day, she was wearing a shoe that wasn't her size.
This is the shoe that went in your eye.
Yes, Your Honor.
So if the shoe didn't fit, she would have had to quit.
In every personal injury case, the plaintiff, you, Mr. Moody, have to prove 3 things. You've got to prove that Miss Davis and Sugar Mamas was wrong, that their wrong caused your eye injury. Here you've put up evidence that Miss Candy had a shoe on that came off and hit you in the eye. That's not supposed to happen. You put up evidence that although you were close to the stage, you had no idea that your life was gonna change. You were gonna leave there with your buddies, everybody, having had a really good time. Instead, we're here, and you're asking this court for a lot of money for your injuries and lost wages. Miss Davis, Miss Candy, you all have been running a respectable establishment, a safe establishment, for a long time that you built from the ground up. But there are rules, and you enforce those rules. You put up signs. You put the restricted area there so he could see where he's not supposed to go. Here, though, there was evidence that you left him there for a while, which makes people comfortable to be there. In this case, the devil is in the details. The reality is that the shoe was too big, and that's what caused the shoe to come off. And that is why I find in favor of the plaintiff and against the defendant. I'm going to award you $29,000 for your past medical bills, $15,000 for your future medical bills, $50,000 for your lost wages, and $200,000 for your pain and suffering, for a total award of $294,000. That is my final verdict, and this matter is adjourned.
And boom, the verdict is in. $294,000 straight to Moody's pocket. The judge ruled that the oversized shoe was the key factor, proving negligence. But let's be real, this case is going to be controversial. Moody was in the restricted area. He kept coming back, yet the club still lost. What do you think? Was justice served? Or did the club get unfairly blamed? Let's get the debate going in the comments. So what did we learn today? 1. Even in a strip club, rules matter. 2. If you're running a business, safety is everything. And 3. Shoe size matters a lot. This case was wild, but what do you think? Did the judge get it right? Would you have ruled the same way? Let us know in the comments. And hey, if you love these crazy courtroom showdowns, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe for more shocking legal breakdowns. We'll see you next time.